Okay, alors welcome to the new episode of a Thought Experiment.
Welcome to episode 22 of a Thought Experiment. Let's begin today's episode by just finding a little bit of center. You can close your eyes if you like, you can keep them open. But what we're going to do is create a mind-body connection between the mind and the spine. So right now you can begin to imagine that the spine is lengthening in opposite directions. So down towards the ground and up towards the sky. We're just lengthening the spine and kind of releasing everything else around it, whether it's the hips, lower back, upper back, stomach, chest, shoulders, arms, neck. Everything around the spine just releases with full support that the spine is going to support you. We'll just sit in this space for a few moments, feeling out the spine as it elongates, allowing the breath to just relax, get into its natural rhythm, its natural pace and depth. Just starting to find a bit of center before we head into what is going to be a very awesome show. Noticing anywhere that you're holding tension and just wiggling it out, releasing it. It's not needed right now. Spine continues to just lengthen. You can imagine, a ray of light running the length of your spine from your tailbone up to the back of your head. Just feeling it lengthen out. The breath is relaxed, traveling into the belly. Maybe you find a soft smile. It's always nice to smile. Just begin to slow down all these maybe chaotic vibrations that you feel around you, no matter where you're at right now. Just aligning the internal environment. Slowing everything down. Muscles in the face relax. And if your eyes are closed, you can start to open them now. And as you start to come back to what's around you, releasing the connection to the spine for right now. I thank you for tuning in. And I want to start by talking about how romantic playoff baseball is. Playoff baseball is just the best at any level, T-ball up to the World Series. There is nothing like playoff baseball. And we just finished our semifinal series versus the Hamburg Steelers, winning the series 3-1, moving on to the finals where we will face Heidenheim, who is a team that we have a bit of a rivalry with. So it's going to be a really fun finals. But man, playoff baseball, the romantics of playoff baseball, the emotional roller coaster that it takes you on, and the discipline it forces you to have as a player, because, it's so funny watching, not funny, it's beautiful watching fans come onto the field after the game, crying and talking about how emotional the game was. And for me, I'm trying to stay aligned for the entirety of the game, neutral the entire game, right? Because we got to see this thing through to the entire end. And for fans, they're riding that roller coaster up and down. It's just the romantics of baseball. And at the end, people coming onto the field crying out of joy because we made it. This team hasn't been to the finals in 10 years. And it's just beautiful. It was amazing. All these volunteers that help out the club here working in the concessions, the photographers, the people who work on the field, everyone that supports this club, that people drove up to Hamburg 8 hours to watch us play. And so in that moment, I'm watching all this go down after the game. All these people come onto the field crying, and it's like, man, it's never about me. My joy comes from allowing these people to feel this type of joy. They've put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this club for time periods that I can't even fathom. And for it to mean this much to them is incredible. And to be able to take part in a group that is able to help bring them this joy is even better. It's amazing. So anytime that you get to compete in any type of playoff environment, relish in it. Soak it up. Because it is truly the best. The back and forth. We won game 1 6-2. So we won game 1 6-2 pretty handedly. Pretty easy. Took care of business. Game 2, we go up 5-1 in the bottom of the third. Top of the fourth, we give up 11 runs. We fight all the way back, end up losing the game 13-10. But game 2 has been the most important game of the season for us, because it was the moment where we decided if we were going to fold when things got difficult, or we were going to embrace what is difficult and just see where it takes us. And that's what we did. We embraced the difficulty. We didn't win the game. But then you look, we go to game 3, win 2-0. Game 4, win 1-0, advance, win the series. I mean, pitching, no runs in 18 innings is pure domination. Now, we only scored 3. That field that we played at, the wind was really swirling. So that's one of the beauties, the romantics of baseball, is that the strategy becomes so much different when the environments of the field become different. And how are we adjusting? How are we, adjusting our playing style to be optimal for where we're at right now? Okay, the wind's really blowing. It's going to be, as you see, a 2-0 win, a 1-0 win. It's going to be a matter of 1 or 2 runs to win. So maybe we're bunting earlier in the game. It's a team that's able to adjust the quickest and recognize and seize the opportunity. In the playoffs, that is the determining factor. Because the opportunities lessen, right? The opportunities to take a lead, to really finish the game in a sense, lessen. Because now you're playing teams that you're more evenly matched against. The intensity is higher. So when that opportunity comes, you have to seize it. And that is the difference between winning and losing in the playoffs. And that's why it takes, people on this emotional roller coaster. And for me, it's just, how can I stay centered? And how can I be a leader and just be my most authentic self, expressing myself through baseball in this moment to lift up those around me, to lift up the other players on the team and get the absolute best out of each person, rooted in a connected purpose. We're in this connected purpose. We're feeling a spirit that no one can see, but you can feel it. You can feel that, man, something's coming. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we're going to win this game somehow. It's going to come. We were 0-0 in the 7th inning of game 4. And it's just, you're waiting for that one opportunity, that leadoff walk, the leadoff runner gets on, finding a way to get it done. And that's what it's all about. That is the beauty of the playoffs, is it's win and get to the next one. Never worried about it. The regular season, you're making adjustments. Okay, we won the game. How can we improve? Playoffs, purely win and get to the next one. Win and get to the next one. And it's amazing. You have to love the unknown. You have to love the unknown, and you cannot expect easy. If we continue to be in love with the unknown, we'll see where it leads us, but it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, and we're going to be rooted in a purpose, in a collective purpose. And man, it is so fun to play in any type of playoff environment, even if it's a rec league basketball. Relish in the competition and embrace the unknown. Now, the next segment of this episode is super exciting because we have a 5-part interview, 5 different interviews of approximately 10 minutes from 5 different guys on the team who come from 5 different countries. France, Brazil, Croatia, Germany, and America, all represented in this episode. I don't know another podcast episode that I've ever seen that has people from 5 different countries giving insights. How beautiful is that you get to learn from people from 5 different countries, how they grew up, their experience finding baseball, what they're excited about in life, what gives them happiness, joy, what they're rooted in. And we did this on the van ride. We take Sprinter vans here on the van ride from Hamburg back to Regensburg. And it was a really fun experience. So that is what is coming up. On the other side of that, we have the word of the week. But without further ado, let's get into this exciting 5-part interview with 5 players from 5 different countries.
My name is Christian Pedrol. I'm from Brazil, born in São Paulo and raised in Brazil.
Chris, talk to me about how you found baseball in Brazil.
I started 8 years old. My brother had a friend from Japan, and the Japanese community in Brazil is pretty big. And for his friend, and he went there to try it out, and my parents just sent me with him. Kind of just go there and try, and I mean, that's how it started.
And what do you remember about the first experience? Because 8 years old is a little older than, I would consider a typical American to start playing baseball. So what do you remember from the first experience?
I hate it.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't like baseball at all at first. I was into soccer a lot, and but after a few sessions, a few months, I kind of just started being my thing.
And then you ended up signing with the Mariners at 16 years old?
Yeah.
So then the development process from 8 to 16 had to be pretty rapid. So can you describe some of your ascension in terms of not liking baseball to signing professionally at 16?
Yeah, I mean, I decided to be a professional player when I was about 14. It was because of one of our coaches. He also signed with the Mariners. And I wanted to be better. I want to try to get better. And I talked to him like, hey, can you train me? Can you help me get better? And when we started this process, I kind of fell in love with the process, and it was kind of a huge jump when I was 13 to 15 years old. So with 15, I was already throwing 86. And I mean, for Brazilian guy throwing 86 with 15, that's pretty big. And that's when we start, okay, I can actually, if I train a little more specifics, I can actually try to sign and try to play professional baseball.
And then you signed professionally. At 16, you went to the Dominican Republic?
Yes. First, I went in DR for the summer league over there. I didn't play much that year, so my contract took 3 months, 4 months to be approved. And I didn't play much the first year, but then I got into it and had a good year there.
And then what do you remember being the most shocking thing, being a 16, 17-year-old from Brazil, and then you come and play, affiliated baseball at any level?
I mean, it was a shock at first in Dominican, but because I didn't speak any Spanish or English at the time.
So only Portuguese.
Only Portuguese. So I had to go to a new country and figure things out like learn new languages and figure it out over there. So like the culture shock was kind of very intense at first.
And now you speak English, Portuguese, Spanish, and German.
In German, yes.
It's amazing. So you mentioned the large Japanese influence in Brazil. How did that occur? How does that occur?
I mean, so since in Brazil the community is pretty big, and baseball is pretty much all Japanese. When I started baseball, like I was one of the only guys that was not looking like Japanese or coming from Japanese family there. And from that is actually really cool because we learn a lot about Japanese culture. The way we would play baseball, the way we would teach us would all be like this Japanese style of baseball. And that was like always really cool.
What other parts of culture in Brazil do you think have been like impacted by Japanese culture?
In Brazil itself, I can think about something right now. In baseball, I mean, it's pretty much it was their thing. So like the president from Brazil Federation it was Japanese, like coming from Japanese family. The culture there, I mean, outside of baseball, I don't know that much, but in the baseball, they had a lot of influences in anything that is going on in there.
I never knew that. And now you find yourself in Germany. Maybe take us through the process of going from affiliated ball into, playing overseas. Like, what were the steps from there? You get released when?
I got released in 2019.
And you went where?
And let me think. Yeah, I got released in 2019. I was just with West Virginia Powers at the time, and then I came here straight to Germany. It was through a contact, like the scout from the guy who signed me. Ted Hyde also knew the guys here in Regensburg and made the connection since I already have a German passport. They were very interested, and the year after, in 2020, I already came here to play overseas.
And so you played in Regensburg only in Germany?
In Germany, yes, just Regensburg.
Then 1 year in Italy, which was last year.
Yes, I've been last year in Italy, in San Marino, and I also played like a winter season in Nicaragua too.
Okay, now we're on the drive home from the semifinals, and Regensburg, last time they were in the finals was a number of years ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
So maybe being someone who's experienced, some years of not making it, what do you see as the differences between the years that the team has fallen short of making the finals? Obviously, there's still more work to be done, but the years of not making the finals compared to maybe this year, especially in the series that we just played.
I feel like the squad this year, the connection that we built with the coaching staff and the players are pretty big. And that's, for me, makes a huge difference when everybody is kind of in the same page of what we need to do.
And you just came off a complete game, 134 pitch shutout, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Going into the game, you knew you were going to have to go the entire way. So how do you prepare yourself mentally? And what's the difference between 16-year-old Chris that signed with the Mariners and Chris that just pitched the other night in terms of mentality and having the ability to withstand an entire game?
I mean, I prepared myself already since before the semifinals. My goal coming here was already, I'm gonna go the whole game. If they take me out, it's gonna be because something is not working right, or I could not figure it out. But my mind was set to, I'm throwing nine innings. I'm throwing the full game. That was my mentality coming through the semifinals.
And being able to play second behind you, I noticed that you're someone who pitches at your own cadence in terms of, I noticed you take a lot of time behind the mound. What goes on during that time for you?
It all depends, because sometimes I can really I can really have a good tempo, and sometimes I slow down a little bit. It just depends of, I want to feel like I'm in control of the game. So I change the time to, I'm going a little faster, I'm going a little slower, but I do in my pace. So I have the feeling of I'm controlling the game.
And so that kind of changing of tempo is just like a recognition on your end in terms of I'm in the groove, I can keep going, or maybe I need to dial it back and take an extra second here.
It's more like, hey, that's my game. I'll go as far as I can. And this extra time sometimes help me to refocus and go back at it. Or the quick tempo sometimes just, okay, things are working, so I keep going. And things are not working, of course, takes a little more time. Work, gets the mind ready. I tell myself a lot, just talk to myself during those couple seconds that we have between pitches, just preparing mentally, because I feel like it physically is everything done. I just get my mind ready and focus what I have to do. Execute, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I say to myself.
Yeah, and then in light of talking to yourself, just talk to me about how good you have it.
I mean, I love what I have to be honest. So like I have a beautiful family. I recently married. I have a 10 months daughter. Everything is working pretty well. Having a good time with them. I have to say it's also tough with playing the baseball and working 40 hours a week. That's been tough, but other than that, I have to say I love what I have. That's what keeps me moving, like this family environment and man, that's great.
Yeah, 40 hours a week, complete game shutouts, latte art,
right?
Holding a baby with your left hand.
Yeah, gotta be with the left one. The right one doesn't work.
Simon Bäumer, Hamburg, Germany.
And give me your height and weight too.
My height, 6'5", and in meters it's 195, and my weight is approximately 120 kilos.
What is that?
Maybe
what's that in
plus
pounds?
minus 5, so 270, 280 pounds.
So
I'm not sure.
Unit. Were you always a unit growing up?
I was, yeah. Always. I mean, always been the biggest kid for sure.
So being the biggest kid usually means at a younger age that you're better than everyone. Did you find that to be true as you were growing up?
I think so. I did have a lot of advantage, but I also did see advantages I didn't have, or other people had advantages over me because they weren't big, which I found out pretty early.
What kind of advantages were those that you noticed?
The biggest one, obviously, speed. I always noticed that. So I always kind of had to find a way to cheat a little bit to be able to catch up with guys that probably were faster. For example, playing soccer in high school or in like primary school or something. I always had to like kind of trick a little bit.
Did you ever notice an age where maybe your size advantage over people played like less of a role? Like, was there an age where things started to level out and you noticed like, oh, these players that are smaller than me, it's baseball, so size doesn't play a huge factor at a certain age. Was there a certain age that came to fruition for you?
Probably when I was 16 or 15, I went to the Dominican Republic for like a baseball camp, and I obviously saw Dominicans for the first time playing baseball and how they do it, and then see them in all kinds of shapes and sizes and be better than anyone on our team.
So tell me about how you found baseball.
I found baseball through my older brother. He's an umpire now actually, but, when I was like 3 years old, he was already playing with me, baseball with me in the garden. And, once I was 5 or 6, I already got into a club, and I also never played a different sport other than baseball. The only thing I did was swimming. So I think from an early age, I just fell in love with baseball and yeah.
How is that looked at growing up? Only playing baseball in Germany, I feel like that's kind of unique, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that. So definitely unique. And also, ever since I've done it, like I was in the kindergarten and people or kids around me were like, what's baseball? Always. And I always got sick and tired of explaining it. And then like growing up, primary school and whatever, like they always were like, what even is that? So I think by the age I was like, I don't know, like 10 or yeah, started going to high school, people would be a little more interested in it. And I got a couple of friends that would be interested in it as well. But yeah, for the most part, it was more like people look at me like I'm a weird or strange guy because I play baseball in Germany.
And what was the first year that you played with the national team? Like any German national team?
First year I was 13, so 2015.
So coming from a place where people are kind of looking at you funny, like not understanding baseball, how did that feel going to a national team environment? Well, now you're surrounded by people who also love the game.
Yeah, it definitely made me feel a lot more comfortable being around those guys because they were just like me. And, it definitely helped me throughout my baseball career to be around those guys more than guys that wouldn't be around baseball at least when it came to everything around baseball. But most of my friends were all playing baseball. So yeah, they made me like more comfortable, more, what's it called? Confident because I knew around them, I can feel more like myself, especially in a young age. And it shaped me to where I am now, for sure.
Yeah, and you played college baseball in America, Florida Southwestern Junior College, and then what were the other schools?
Yeah, Florida Southwestern State for 2 years, and then I transferred for only one fall to a school called Erskine College in South Carolina.
Okay, so German kid coming to play college in the U.S. How did the process work for you to initially get signed to even come to the U.S. to play?
It became a possibility when I was almost done with high school, and I realized that for me, my dream was to play baseball in the United States. And I came to the realization the only way for me that is possible is with college because, I wasn't on a radar for pro ball. And, I just simply talked to guys that I knew had connections to like college coaches or people who knew college coaches from baseball in Germany. So my old head coach and also people in German baseball who were American, and they just helped me out. And through them, I found a school, eventually Florida Southwestern State. And yeah, so I think when I almost turned 18, that's when it became real to me.
Okay, and then fast forward to now where I don't know if we have an MVP in this league, but you should definitely win MVP. I don't know. You know your stats. What were your stats?
I hit 420 this year, 8 bombs, 49 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases.
10 stolen bases from an absolute unit of a human.
Yep.
So coming off a season like this, we still have the finals to play, but where does your mind go as in terms of like goals and aspirations for continuing to play? Because you're only 23 right now.
Yeah, I'm 23 right now. Well, my thoughts on going into the finals with having such a season, I think it gives me a lot of confidence in where I'm at and trusting myself and my strength. Also, I realized what I'm better at, and especially when it comes to hitting, at what to attack. I just learned a lot over the past time. So that gives me a good feeling about it, like basically. But I also know I would probably like the result of this next couple of games mean more to me than that. So I don't think until the season is over, I really can tell you what exactly I'm going to feel about it. because we got, I would say, bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good saying. Talk to me about some of the moves that you make in the box, because for such a big guy, you make pretty athletic hitting moves, and I can tell that you have a refined understanding of your own swing and setup. So, when did you start to really refine your own swing and your setup? Because as players get older, obviously it becomes very unique to themselves. And so to have that kind of understanding at 23 is impressive. So when did that start to take shape for you? The understanding of your own swing.
Well, first off, thank you. I really appreciate the word athleticism. I think I started learning about my swing probably about 2 years ago, or not, almost 2 years ago. We were at a trip with the German national team in Tenerife, it's Canary Islands. And the hitting coach over there, after the trip was done, at the hotel lobby, he gave me a talk, and he basically just told me that because I didn't know at all where my swing was, but at that time, I was just moving everything at once, and I just had a tough time hitting. And he was just telling me in the hotel lobby how I should make adjustment into trying to make a whole swing like one big motion, or almost break it down into two motions. And he said the word wham wham, and it sounds funny, but it always sticks into my head, because when I see him trying to tell me what he saw and what I need to do, he always said, you just got to do wham wham, like a load and a swing. And when I got that down and I kept working with him on it and the cages and stuff, and I slowly started to understand and what he was trying to teach me, it was really just saying the more simpler your swing gets, but with the size I have, the further I'm actually going to hit the ball and the harder I'm going to hit the ball. And also the more I'm just going to, hit the ball, like I said already. So.
Yeah, you're a big guy. So,
right.
I mean, just touching the baseball, it's going to travel.
So, but when I understood that, I realized the less I do, the more happens, because I look at tape now, and it's funny, when we looked at tape with you and me at Tomich's room at the synergy stuff, I looked at some of my college ABs, and I just thought to myself,
you're like a 6'5" slap hitter.
Yeah. And I was just standing in there like I didn't know who I was. I truly, I think, to put an end on this, is I found out that how to use my body to my advantage, when before I was trying to be like a 5'10", or, like a small guy who's just.
Yeah, you're leveraging your size.
Hits it hard, tries to hit as hard as he can. Well, I don't need to do that. I don't have to actually try to hit it as hard as I can. I just have to catch it.
Yeah. And off the topic of baseball for a second, we have the finals coming up, everything like that. Just tell me something that you're excited about in your life going forward.
Ooh. Actually, I am excited to finish my driver's license.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it takes a while to get your driver's license here in Germany.
Yeah, and I had a couple of attempts already, and I failed. So, it's time to get that over with and move on.
Andrea Tomic, Split, Croatia.
Tomic, you're one of the toughest people that I know. You really don't complain about anything. You are a guy that maybe embodies the phrase chop wood, carry water, which maybe you know, maybe you don't. But tell me a story growing up that shaped the type of toughness that you have right now.
Okay, so it's very connected to baseball, I have to say. I started playing at the rugby field, so we had like goalposts in our outfield, and like we didn't have any coaching and like anything like that. So from the
So it was just players. There were no coaches.
there are coaches, but these coaches are not the coaches that you are thinking of, like anything systematic or anything like that.
And how many players are out there?
We had like a bunch of kids, different years playing together basically. So like we would have like 7-8 kids during practice. Like some of them would be like 16, I would be like 10, whatever.
Okay, so you're on this rugby field with goalposts.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Playing catch and taking hacks and like hitting in a cage outside. It's fucking raining, it's windy, everything is kind of brutal.
And what did you love it at the time?
I did actually. Probably because like I'm really into sports a lot, so like I love all of that. Honestly. Yeah.
And so I think that's pretty uncommon. I don't think a lot of people grow up playing baseball on a rugby field. When was the first time you played baseball on a baseball field?
Like probably when I was 12 or 13, like some really like kids tournament, and we would travel to other cities. We only have like a couple of baseball fields in the whole country, so like whenever we get there, that's when I was playing like on the real field. And it's always kind of weird to see like really nice fields like we have now in Germany actually. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of
So it took you a couple years before you even played on an actual baseball field.
Yes, definitely, yes.
So you were just playing rugby baseball.
I mean, not really. We had like muddy holes instead of base pads or whatever, like stuff like that. But it was pretty tough.
Did you have anyone to practice with on your own, or when you were learning it, like, did you recognize maybe you were better than the other kids, or how did that kind of like development take place for you? Because it doesn't sound like you had many coaches or resources. It was.
I never thought that I was really better than other kids, but the thing I was doing was like I had an access to, let's say, facility, and I would come there and hit alone like always, like not even the first couple of years, but like years after that, like I would do that. So I mean I think that's the reason why I was able to kind of go through tough moments and just go to the next step, honestly.
And the next step was what? Because then you start playing 12, 13,
like,
and you play on. Did you play on a Croatian national team at a certain age?
I played like when I was like under 14 or whatever. Like I was at the Croatian national team. Like I was kind of talented kid or whatever. Like I was getting some like awards always, like most talented
you
players.
were good.
Yeah,
you were good. Yeah.
And then under 14 national team, then under 16 national team, under 18, like everything. Step by step, it was going like that. But
Is the Croatian national team good at the youth level?
not at all. Like we would always fighting like from B pools, which is like second tier countries, trying to get into A pools. And I actually had pretty good success like in U16 and U18, like national teams. I was playing very well there.
Is that where you played a majority of your games? Was it the national team, or was there another team?
No, we had some kind of leagues always, like playing against other teams, but that level was not even close to the level of national teams playing against other national teams.
Yeah, when you played competitively, you typically endured quite a bit of losses. That's accurate to say?
Yes, definitely. So
then how did that losing shape your like gratitude maybe as you come into like a season like now where we're pretty talented?
It had a huge impact for sure, because like throughout my career, like I was losing a lot, and I never really, like after I lose something, I would never like kind of give up. Honestly, I was just okay, let's try to do it another time, go back to the practicing and like being there, and that's how it works. I don't take losses very seriously, honestly. Like it's so normal.
Yeah, I mean, you watch a lot of sports. You're always watching sports, and your job involves you watching more sports. So what do you notice about teams that you watch that typically win a lot, and the teams that you watch that typically lose a lot? What is like apparent for you over and over that you see no matter the sport?
I would say teams that have
Because for anyone that doesn't understand, Tomek watches sports from the moment he opens his eyes in the morning to the moment he closes them at night. So it's all shapes and sizes. I walked into his room and he was watching Michael Phelps win a gold medal in like 2006.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge basketball
Yeah, it's
guy.
a true story that happened.
It is true, definitely.
Or a
Like,
track and field event from like 1986.
Yeah, that's me. Like, when you're talking about team sports, I would say like teams with actual good leaders are having success actually, and not many teams have good leaders. Although like they are making them like huge superstars or stuff like that, I think like it's very rare that you come across like a real good leader, and I think these teams are successful actually.
And what does a good leader do?
Good leader, I mean,
In your eyes?
in my eyes, like he takes players around him, and they are like they trust him a lot. That's what I think it is. And actually, like if you have a good leader, other people will respect him, and it doesn't mean like automatically you have a coach and everybody respects him, or you have like the oldest player and everybody respects him. Like I don't think it goes like that at all, but you have to earn it, and actual like very rare these leaders come across and they are able to do that, and that I think that makes teams actually pretty good.
Is that something you can pick up on just from watching like on a computer screen? Do you think you can like tell teams that are well connected versus teams that are dysfunctional?
Depends what sport am I watching. Like if I'm watching NBA or stuff like that, like you can say that some players are assholes and they are not having success like usually.
You're also studying to get your strength training degree.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, I mean, you're working how many hours a week?
We can say also 40, but yeah,
Working
like
40 hours a
full-time.
week,
Yeah.
playing baseball, studying for a strength certificate.
Yes.
Where does the desire to like better yourself come from? Because it's very easy for someone maybe just to do one of those things or two of those things, but I mean, you're doing three things at the best that you can.
I was thinking about that actually yesterday when I was talking with you, and like for example, when I was like 17 or 18, I went to like MLB Academy or whatever, and like players would fight for contracts there, and like
Fight for contracts.
yeah, like scouts were there.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
and week before that, I was like in my classroom, like going to the high school, and all the other friends from the class, like they don't think about that at all. Like they are just okay, school is done, let's go drink somewhere, you know, have fun and blah blah. And I was like completely opposite of that, like doing something completely different, and I loved it. So like I could probably like go really easy on my life, and like I could take one thing and like be really good at it, and then have like nice easy life, but that's not what I'm trying to do, and it doesn't make me happy actually. So maybe I get these gray hairs from that, or like I don't know, but like, I'm trying to put a lot on myself, and I actually like it.
Yeah, you like persevering through the struggle, which sounds like it's like a common theme of your life. I mean, you started playing baseball in a rugby field. Now you're riding in a Mercedes Sprinter van. So things are looking up for you.
Yes, pretty nice science, yeah.
Nice. Tell me what brings you the most happiness in your life consistently.
I like to do a job, whatever kind of thing it is. Like I have a mission, if I do it right, checked, and I'm kind of happy, honestly. That's how I work.
You like seeing the end goal and pursuing it, and then being able to consider that task done.
Yes, definitely. Like I like.
Okay. So as of right now, what's the next goal? What's on Tomic's checklist?
Have to finish that strength and conditioning thing and try to make a career.
Try to
in
get
the
to
States.
America, huh?
Yeah.
Trying to go to
I can do it.
Texas.
Yeah.
Get you a cowboy hat and some boots.
Oh man,
Shave that beard off.
Come on, man.
Nicolas Antoine, Normandie, France.
Nico, tell me about your hometown in France.
So I grew up in a small town in Normandy. There's probably like 3,000 people living there. It's a really lovely town, close to the river, close to nature. Couple nice forests around as well.
And it's in where in France? North, east, west,
Normandy.
south?
So like, west from Paris, like an hour away from Paris.
An hour from Paris. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you typically go to Paris as a kid?
A couple times, yeah. Like just on a day trip, like on Saturday or Sunday, and spend a day in the city, but that's pretty much it.
So it wasn't super common for you to travel into Paris?
No, not really. I was more like, spending my weekends outside in nature and like go out fishing or like walking or biking and do like just kid stuff outside.
And in such a small town, is it super community based growing up?
Pretty much, yeah, cause like all the kids grow up together and all the parents know each other. So like you just around with the same people all the time.
And you're someone who's played baseball in a number of countries. So maybe, first of all, what are the countries you played baseball in?
So obviously France, and then I moved to Australia, and then I moved to Japan, and then moved back to Australia and Germany.
And where did the desire to leave that small town come from? Because I can see how it's very easy growing up in a place like that to maybe just stay and stay in your small space. But it sounds like for you that you had bigger aspirations. So where did that stem from?
So first of all, I had to move to go to the baseball academy because there's a local baseball club that then if you want to take it to the next level, you got to go to the baseball academy. And there's 4 different ones in France in like 4 different big cities. 3 for the younger ones and 1 for the oldest guy. So I first moved to the closest academy from home, which was like 45 minutes away, in the city called Rouen, and for 2 years. And then I moved south in Toulouse, which is like 8 hours driving away from my hometown. And I stayed there for 2 more years. So I was like slightly moving from city to city every 2 years, basically.
Yeah, you left home at what age?
I was 14.
And so now that as you navigate the world, you're 23. Do you notice that maybe you see the world a little differently from leaving at such a young age?
Yeah, 100%.
What are some of those things that you notice?
Well, first it teaches you a lot about yourself. And, I feel like moving from places to places and country to country every year just, it teaches you a lot about culture and other people and the way you can grow better and just grow basically, like, or you can do things better every day, learning from different people and different countries and different places.
What have you learned about yourself from traveling so much? Like, what are some of the things that you really take pride in about yourself from growing culturally and moving so often?
First, I would say that doesn't matter where you are, there's always like a way to find a solution. Like, anytime you're in trouble, anytime you get doubt, anytime you get, find a way to make things happen. Like, there's always a way to do things and to, how should I say that?
And
there's always solutions.
There's always solutions.
Like, being alone, away in another country, like, when you've got to figure out something, you've got to do it by yourself, and there's no point complaining or just giving up because there's always like a solution to make it.
Yeah, that's super true. Whenever you're traveling by yourself and having to figure out, you make the wrong move, take the wrong train, you end up somewhere you don't know where you're at. It just is on you to find your way back. Mm-hmm. And there's a certain level of like confidence that you gain from being able to navigate unknown places on your own. Tell me about Japan.
Japan was a dream for me because that was like my first, I would say my first goal ever when I was a kid. I always wanted to play pro ball in Japan.
Where did that dream of playing in Japan come from?
Well, my stepdad was a lot into the Japanese culture because he lived 3 years in Tokyo. And since I was young, like he got me into like that Japanese culture and Japanese food and anime and gaming and everything. I was not really into gaming, but I was like I was enjoying like every other things.
The French kid that was interested in Japanese culture.
Yeah. And then I started playing baseball and I just understood that like Japanese people were just fucking good at baseball. So I was like, why not going to Japan and play baseball over here, which will be like a dream. And that's how it started.
And then you get there.
Yeah.
And tell me about the feeling of signing a contract to play there, because now a dream is coming true, and then how that dream felt as you lived it.
That was crazy. From the moment I got in touch with the team and signed my contract, and then I had to wait almost like 3 months to leave Australia to Japan. And that was like a really, really long time because I was like so excited to go there and just start practicing, start playing there, start living in Japan and like being that Japanese culture. And then when I got there, like that was tough. That was tough because no one speaks English. And once again, you've got to find a way to communicate, to, get yourself into that, Japanese work ethic, and which was like really not easy at first, but that was also what I was expecting. So I was not surprised by that.
And navigating Japan, Australia, and now Germany, maybe can you find one thing about each culture that you kind of take with you into your own life?
Yeah.
So maybe starting with like Japan.
Yeah, I'll definitely say like the way they work and practice and do everything out every day, and they're always trying to get better. Cause that's the thing Japanese people do very well is like just getting better every day. So that's something I'm trying to do in my everyday life now.
And then as you go to Australia, what's something that you might take from the Australian culture?
I would say the way they're just enjoying life and like every day is a good day. You like almost never see anyone complaining in Australia. And that's something I really appreciate. Like just waking up every day and being in a positive mood and be like, all right, it's going to be a good day. So I'm trying to get better and let's try to have a good day.
Yeah, you could almost combine those two things and they'd be like, finding beauty in the consistent practice, enjoyment in the consistent practice. And then now in Germany, what is something maybe that you have found that you've resonated with?
Well, the first thing that come in my mind is growing up as a French kid. There's always that like thing like French people don't like German kid and like German people and don't like French people.
I think it's French people don't like anyone.
Yeah, but especially the German.
Okay.
And once you get there and start meeting German people and talking with them, and you realize like there's actually no reason to hate them or to like don't like them because they're just normal people just like you. And that's really something that swapped and changed since I got here.
Wow. So you grew up with kind of like a lifelong bias almost towards German people. That wasn't even like something, you came up with. It was just pressed upon you like growing up.
Yeah.
And so it really broke as you got here.
Like that. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I had no idea that France and Germany had beef like that. That's true. France and Germany have. Yeah. Is that what Germans think of French people too?
Yeah.
Just look at history, man.
We had a long talk with Simon.
Look at history. That makes sense.
Damn. Well, you're closing in on a 7-hour drive here. You're coaching a baseball camp this week. If all those kids could hear you right now, what's one thing you'd press upon them to pursue in their own lives that you've seen through traveling? Baseball or not baseball or anything, just something that you wish they could understand at this age, that maybe you didn't understand until you got older.
Respect and listening to other people because they know better than you. That's the first thing that comes out of my mind.
Not better than you in what sense?
Everything in life, pretty much.
Like,
sometimes you get kids just like not listening to you or think they know better at everything in life when you're like 15 older than them. And you get more
so you're
life
talking about that like
experiences.
adolescent ego.
Yeah, even younger now.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously that kind of breaks in Japanese culture a bit, right? Those kids are a little more, disciplined, yeah.
Devin Ramirez, Inglewood, California.
Inglewood, California. Tell me about Inglewood, California.
Inglewood, California.
Tell me about growing up in Inglewood, California.
Okay, fair enough. Growing up in Inglewood, California was interesting to say the least. It's a place where you find a lot of community, but at the same time, you find a lot of, for lack of a better term, violence.
This is during what years?
I grew up in Inglewood, California from the age of 8 till I was about 18 and left to college.
And 8 would have been what year? 19?
Bro, I'm old. I can't even remember that far back. I'm 36, mode.
So you were born in what year?
1989.
Okay, so like mid-90s.
Yeah.
Mid-90s, like early 2000s in Inglewood.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're kind of painting the picture a bit, and you're growing up and you're playing what sports?
So I played football, basketball, baseball, and I actually quit playing baseball for 3 years to play golf.
Really?
Yeah.
You quit playing baseball for 3 years to play golf when?
6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Okay. Parents are trying to make you Tiger Woods.
I had an aunt, that was, she didn't live in Inglewood. She was in a different community that was a little bit more influential when it came to golf, and she wanted to get me into it. I actually really enjoyed it. It was different than playing basketball and football. It was more of I'm by myself. I have nobody to count on but myself. So everything was based off of how I handled pressure, how I handled the course, how I can handle a bad shot. So I thought that was really interesting about golf. But yeah, I did that for 3 years, got sponsored by Nestle, played in junior tournaments, and then quit playing it because I changed high schools and became friends with some guys that were trying out for the baseball team.
So you came back to baseball, and so you played baseball through high school, and then where did you play college baseball?
Started off at Cal State LA, ended up at Dominguez Hills.
Dominguez Hills, okay. And after college baseball gets done, you're kind of looking around, and where did you go from there?
To be honest, I kind of hated baseball after college. Some things didn't work out. I spent too much time partying and trying to hook up with chicks and trying to have the best time ever and not really focused on baseball. I had opportunities. I went to draft combines, touched 92 on the left side, was told I would get drafted out of college, didn't get drafted out of college. I really hated baseball at that time. And it wasn't until I went and played in the World Baseball Classic that I got into baseball again.
Yeah, with what team was that?
Philippines.
The Philippines. Okay. And what year was that in the WBC?
That would have been the summer right after college. I didn't get drafted. And then literally like 2 weeks later, I got a phone call when I was like just hating baseball, just didn't even want to watch baseball. I got a phone call from a coach in the league that I was playing in. And he goes, "You're Filipino, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "We're flying out to Taiwan in 3 weeks. Get ready." I said, "All right."
It's kind of funny. The game pulled you back a bit naturally. The WBC you played in what year was that?
Would have been 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Okay. So,
yeah, I mean,
2015-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so you go play in the WBC and the love of baseball is ignited again, or what were the feelings from there?
It was interesting. That was like my, not my first taste, but like my real first taste of like going overseas and playing baseball. The ability to go see the world. And, I jumped on a flight by myself, flew into Taiwan, not knowing what anything looked like, what anything, couldn't read anything, etc. And it's funny because the guy who put together the team, Will Ireton, is now the translator for Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he put the team together.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put the team together, and then that was the first guy I met when I got to Taiwan. He picked me up in the car. We took a taxi back to the hotel. And then long story short, I had trained for 3 weeks just to pitch in the World Baseball Classic. I showed up to our first practice. Coach came up to me. He's like, "You played center field at Dominguez, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I want you to take hacks." I took hacks in the cage and I batted leadoff, played center field after not swinging a bat for about 2 months.
Yeah, Team Pakistan doesn't have a plethora of players, I can imagine.
Philippines, bro.
Philippines.
Come on.
My bad.
host over here is blown
I got my
right now, dude.
Southeastern Asian countries mixed up.
Here we go, dude.
So now you've amassed a large travel discography. What are the countries that you've played in?
Mexico, Canada, Australia, Germany, Czech Republic, America, Japan, Taiwan.
Okay, tell me your best experience playing in overseas baseball. What experience sticks out in your mind?
It's crazy. Like when you ask that question, it's not even baseball experiences that stand out in my mind, to be honest with you. It's more like life experiences that I've racked up. Swimming with whale sharks in Australia, driving 16 hours up the coast of Western Australia up to Exmouth, seeing like wild cattle, huge lizards, ostriches or emus in Australia, just like randomly walking around the streets of the village up there. And then like being like freaked out of my mind that I'm about to go swimming with whale sharks because my wife and my cousin signed me up to do it without telling me till the night before. And then, just swimming with the whale shark, seeing this massive animal, and then all of a sudden it just starts diving and it just disappears, kind of puts like the world in perspective for you, because it's like we think we're like the baddest people on the planet, but like there's creatures out there that like we're just a speck.
Mm-hmm. Now you've been in Regensburg for how many years?
It's my 5th season.
5th season. Tell me about how you got out to Regensburg.
In my second World Baseball Classic, I had played with Matt Vance and his brother Kevin Vance.
And Matt's the head coach here.
Matt Vance is now the head coach, yeah.
Legend.
Yes, absolutely. I had tried to get here before, and the coach at the time didn't want me. So I ended up going to Czech Republic. Long story short there, won a championship, met a buddy of mine, Terrell Joyce, had a great season, blah, blah, blah. Ended up Tomas Bison, same guy that brought in Christian that you talked to earlier. Matt mentioned my name to him. He contacted me and I was supposed to come be the pitching coach and import pitcher here in Regensburg.
Always supposed to be the pitcher.
Yeah. And then, got here and never pitched until 2 years ago and was not and was like a player coach and played the outfield.
Nice. And has Regensburg been the place that you've played the longest in the same place?
I would say same team. Yes. Same place. No, because I did Australia for 6, 7 winters in a row, maybe 8 winters in a row.
Okay. But consecutively, you've been out here for?
So this past year would have been the first full year I've been in Germany.
Uh-huh. And what is it about Regensburg that has felt like home to you?
I guess the checklist would be 1. When you're 36 and, there's not much baseball, there's more baseball behind you than there is in front of you. To play for a place that makes it feel like you're still playing, like as a professional, you're still playing for something. You have the recovery room, you've got the Jumbotron, you've got
we have the nicest facility in all of Europe.
Yeah. By far. I mean, that you're not going to get much better than that at 36. The second would be, I would say like the Legionary family. I mean, I've known Christian for 5 years and, I met him my first year here and this guy's we spent time together in Australia. We spent time together in Switzerland. Like it's that kind of stuff where like you make connections here and they're like genuine connections.
So at 36 on the back end of your career, do you start to think about like where you want to spend, long term? Like, is that in Germany or back in the States? Obviously now you have a wife and 2 kids. So like how do those thoughts manifest in your mind?
I put a little bit of thought into that recently because I got asked the question is like, what happens after baseball? I I mean, I want to play for like the next 4 years. My goal is like my youngest son can remember me as a baseball player. So I got to last another 4 seasons. But after that, when I'm done with baseball, it'd be interesting if Germany keeps me in Germany. In terms of, I have work here, but it's mobile work, so I can work anywhere in the world. My wife likes it here. My kids like it here. It'll completely depend on where my wife and my kids want to be. They're also I have Swiss passports. My wife is from Switzerland. So that could also be an option. And then obviously going back home to California is always an option as well.
Yeah, so it's still wide open.
Yeah. And I think that kind of sums up my life, man. Like I literally live like 6 months at a time. That was like my life for the last 10 years is every 6 months I switch up.
So as we move into the next 6 months, what are you most excited about going forward?
This would be the first time that I actually don't want to play any sports. Last winter,
Except golf, maybe?
oh, for sure. I mean, that's a no-brainer. We know that. But no, last winter, I told myself I'd take a break from baseball. Like playing, the season we had last year was just it was just too much for me and I needed a break mentally. So I went and played basketball. I could play basketball this winter, but I want to take a break completely from just playing sports and just kind of lock into like, what could 6 months look like with no baseball, recovery, and just be with my family.
I hope you enjoyed that special 5-part interview from Nico, Chris, Simon, Tomek, and Devin. That was really fun. And now we will get into the word of the week. The word of the week is kenosis. Kenosis can be defined as the relinquishment of divine attributes by Jesus Christ in becoming human. A secondary definition to that can be the self-emptying of one's own will, power, or privileges in order to align the divine will. Now, wherever you fall on the religious spectrum, let's focus on this second definition. The self-emptying of one's own will, okay, power or privileges in order to align the divine will. Okay, so what do we see first from this definition is the recognition of something greater than the self, the self-emptying in order to align the divine will. Well, the belief in a divine will, the divine is the recognition of something greater than the self. You can call it God, the ethos, whatever you choose to call it. But it's just that recognition. And then it's the giving up to the divine will. We're giving up control. Giving up carries a negative connotation to a lot of people. And what I've started to flip in this belief is that giving up is actually the best thing that we can do. Giving up control, giving up this false self that I use to protect myself. And in giving up, you're opening yourself up to what? We're opening ourselves up to possibilities, to the divine will, to what may happen, to the unknown. Power or privileges, we're giving it all up. And in giving up, we fall. And what do we fall into? We fall into the unknown. And what we know is that the best version of ourselves, of anyone, lives in the unknown. Therefore, the best version of you that lives in the unknown, the best version of you is there for the community. So in order to be the best you for the community, we have to go into the unknown. And in the unknown, we're giving up. We're self-emptying. We're giving up this power, privileges, the false self in order to align. Now, I love the word align. Align because it's not that we're looking for anything. We're not doing this to gain something. All we're doing is aligning, which is opening up possibilities. We're opening up the opportunity to live in the world of possibilities. Where else? I don't want to live anywhere else. I want to live in the world of possibilities, of openness, of what could be. Possibilities, well, to live in the world of possibilities is the world of the unknown. And what's in the world of the unknown? The best version of ourselves. And by giving up, you will become vulnerable. Giving up is a vulnerable experience. The unknown is vulnerable. And there's a coach that I work with who recently told me this quote: "Here is my secret. I don't care what happens next." Here is my secret. I don't care what happens next. Well, what happens next is the world of possibilities. And I don't care in that instance is the most positive use of I don't care. It's giving up the power, the privileges, the false self, one's own will, in order to align with the divine will, with what may happen. I mean, the world of possibilities, what's the opposite of the world of possibilities? The world of no possibilities? That's the world of the known. The known has no possibilities. That doesn't sound very fun. But we use the world of known, of no possibilities, to protect ourselves because it's safe, right? Why would I venture out into the unknown? It's safe right here. The false self loves to live in this protection. No. We know everything here. Why would we need to change? The false self, everyone else needs to change. Everyone else is the issue. No. Let's become vulnerable. Let's give up. Let's go into the world of the unknown and understand that we're the ones that are changing. Me. I have to change. I want to change. The best version of myself is in change. In change is the unknown. It's the world of possibilities. It's giving up. Here, this is my secret. I'm okay with what happens next. It's fine. Here it is. Take it. This is me. And what a good feeling that is to just lay it all out there and not need the external environment, not need everyone else, everything else to be what we believe to be perfect in order for me to be me. No. The external environment has no impact on me being me. My most authentic self. Here's my secret. I'm okay with what happens next. Take it. It's fine. And in that, I become vulnerable. I open myself up to the world. But what do I open myself up to? The world of what? The world of possibilities. Oh, how nice it is. How nice it is to live in the world of possibilities. And it's endless. That's the beauty, is that there's no end to the possibilities. There's no end to the possibilities. The world of possibilities is endless. It's like sitting on the beach and looking at the horizon, and it's endless. There's no end to it. How amazing is that? You just wonder what's out there. I love that. And it comes back to kenosis, which is a highly religious word in the Webster's definition, the relinquishment of divine attributes by Jesus Christ in becoming human. So, we take it to the religious context. God giving up these divine attributes and sending Jesus down to the earth in order to have a human experience, birth, death, everything in between. And it was in doing so that it's the self-emptying of one's own will. Self-emptying all this power, these privileges that we think we have. No. Let's give them up. It's the false self. We only encounter the world through our own mind. Where do I encounter anything? In my mind. Well, if I encounter anything in my mind, then I can give up all of this power that I think I have in my mind, the privilege that I think I have in my mind. And I can just become vulnerable and walk into the unknown. Let me just walk into the unknown and see what happens. Because the best version of myself is in the unknown. It's in vulnerability. And that's why I believe giving up is the best thing that we can do. Giving up the power, the privileges, and aligning with the divine will. Aligning with what will? Having faith that every obstacle, every opportunity, every challenge is uniquely meant for you. If it's in front of you, if you're encountering it, enduring it, going through it, it's meant for you. It's meant for you, uniquely you. That is aligning with the divine will, is understanding it's uniquely meant for me. Give it to me. I'll take it all. I'll take it all. Whatever you got for me, throw it in my path because I know it's uniquely meant for me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. And what's on the path is the unknown. And it's just that alignment that says, oh, it's happening for me, not to me. And then you give thanks. And then we live in the world of gratitude. And the world of gratitude is endless. It's possibilities. Everything becomes a resource. We're rooted in purpose. We're rooted in purpose. And in purpose become the best version of you for other people in the community. Impacting others in the community. Lifting everyone up. Everyone up. We're giving up the power, privileges, everything that lives in our mind, giving it up so that we can just align with the divine will so we can be. There's a great quote from Alan Watts' book, The Way of Zen. And he says, not content with feeling happy, I want to feel myself feeling happy as to be sure not to miss anything. Not content with feeling happy. So I'm feeling happy, but I'm not content with it. I want more. I want to feel myself feeling happy. I want to make sure I'm feeling happy. Dang, everything's great right now. I'm in flow. Oh, well, here's the conscious mind. Here's the conscious mind coming in. Here's the false self. Let's see how happy you can feel. Feel more happy. As to be sure not to miss anything. I think it goes back to my idea about when we're in flow, in this state, we remember things with less detail because it's that exact moment. It's concentrating to concentrate. Make sure I concentrate. Make sure I'm concentrating here. It's like when you drive home and you get home and you don't even remember taking a left there, stopping at the red light, stopping at the stop sign, making a right, going around the roundabout. You don't remember any of it, but you got home safely. But then you feel kind of uneasy because what is that? I wasn't concentrating. No. You were the most concentrated. You were empty, in flow. Empty in the best sense of the word. The mind was empty. You were just there, seeing it, trusting it. Not content with feeling happy, I want to feel myself feeling happy. As to be sure, not to miss anything. Oh, I do not want to miss anything. What if we just took it to the next breath? Let me just go to the next breath and let me just embrace the unknown. That's why I found Kenosis to be such a great word for this week. The self-emptying of one's own will. I had to go through my own, Kenosis during this season. Relinquishing my false self, the perception that I had of myself, trying to see myself through other people's eyes as someone who had played, college baseball, professional baseball at these high levels, whatever. That is how I saw myself. So then I'm here in Germany and I'm like, oh, this isn't where the false self sees myself. Well, this is where I'm at. And where you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be. Why? Because it's on my path. It's uniquely meant for me. The divine has put it out in front of me, uniquely meant for me. And in doing that, I had to become vulnerable. I had to open myself up to the unknown. Here's my secret. I'm okay with what happens next. Take it. It's fine. And I'll tell you what, as soon as I started living in that state, in this state that I'm in right now, joy became just abundant. Joy became abundant. Possibilities are endless. It's not needing to understand where the wind started or where the wind's ending. It's just understanding that I'm feeling it right now, and that's it. It's the best. It is the best. The best version of you lives in the unknown, and the best version of you is for other people in the community, to lift the community. By giving up, we become vulnerable, and the unknown is vulnerable. So here's my secret, and I'm okay with what happens next. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a great episode. Episode 22, the best episode yet. Let's go. Let's go. So the question that we're going to finish with is just so beautiful. What would giving up look like for you? What would giving up look like for you? Thank you for tuning in. That concludes this episode of A Thought Experiment.